saw the natives sacrificing somebody to a god. Well, why did they make a sacrifice to the rain god? Come on, guess. They needed rain. Why did they sacrifice to the god of fertility? They wanted healthy children, and mainly sons, to strengthen the tribes. And why did they worship the god of the land? Because they needed good crops. Everything, every object of worship gave them a grace that they needed in their everyday lives. So worshiping God because God has grace to give you is not being greedy or self-centered. God is known by what he can do. The names of God, each one of those names tells of a grace that he gives you. Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Rapha, all of those is about what God can do for you. What have you done for me lately? Well, God wants to do something for you now. Okay, and worship is the way where you can get the grace of God and God's providence. Now, I'm going to read something else to you from the Amplified Bible. You see, I don't have one of those $5,000 mahogany desks that some of these big boy preachers have, but I got some fire for you if you'll listen. Okay, now we're going to Ecclesiastes verse 12. Chapter 12, verse 13. And this verse blew me away. I've got it again, www.hiphoppop.ws. You go to it on the radio broadcast page, and we're talking about the keys to answered prayer. All right, now, as we have defined worship, the worship also consists of three things: homage, obeisance, and tribute. Now, let me define those. Obeisance is a gesture, is a bow expressing respect. We do that in church all the time. We bow. We lay prostrate on the floor. We hold our hands up. But there are two more aspects of worship that we need to incorporate to be a true worshiper. Homage, public expression of respect, an act done or payment made, meeting obligation. Tribute, money paid by one to another, acknowledging submission or protection. That is why it is important for us to tithe. Tithing is a part of worship. To do public acts. You'll always see me out feeding the homeless, but that might not be your knack, and I don't want to make you think that's the only way to serve. Some of you are good with children. Some of you are good with elderly people. Some of you are just good. You can just, some of you are church workers. You need to worship God in the full spectrum of worship. Homage, obeisance, and tribute. Don't just stop with holding your hands up in the air and getting goosebumps. You need to give duty, and you need to give substance to have a complete spectrum of worship. All right, now let me show you the benefits of true worship. The Amplified Bible, Ecclesiastes 12, verse 13. All has been heard. The end of the matter is, fear God, revere and worship him, knowing that he is, and keep his commandments, for this is the whole of man, the full original purpose of his creation. That's telling you right there, you were created for this full spectrum of worship. All right? The object of God's providence. Now, God's providence is his divine guardianship. Oh, God always take care of me. Well, let me tell you, God has more than common mercies. God has this divine providence, this care and guardianship for you, so that you can get into his will. You can accomplish the thing. Did you know that the protection of the angels in Psalms 91 and 11, it says the angels will protect, defend, and preserve you in all your ways of service and obedience. That's worship, your ways of service and obedience. Okay, the root of character, the root of character. All right, not this chameleon changing person we can be sometimes, but the very root of godly character comes through worship. And it says the foundation of all happiness, not incidents of happiness. Well, I'm happy because Reg hooked up with me and did what I wanted him to do. If Reg can't hook up with me and do what I need him to do, I'm still happy because my happiness comes from the root of happiness, not because of what somebody does or somebody says. All right? And Now this is the one that made this little bit of stuff blow in the breeze. Listen to this. The adjustment to all inharmonious circumstances and conditions under the sun. Let me read that again. The adjustment to all inharmonious conditions and circumstances under the sun. Come on, man. Worship, the full spectrum of worship. You will see God manifest himself in your life in so many ways when you incorporate worship, obeisance, homage, and tribute in your life. This is Hip Hop Pop with another nugget from the top. And I love you. God bless.